Well, here we are going into the final week of the season. It's been, it's gone by fast, but we're excited to get out there and compete against Wyoming. We got to go out there and, fight our tails off and get that fourth victory. So it's been a long year, but we're excited about it, and we still got some energy left in the tank. We're going to go out there and get that W.
You mentioned the energy. You and Wyoming are both in similar situations.
Yeah.
Is it, other than pride, what sorts of things do you really focus on this week as far as play? What will you emphasize?
It's kind of hard to explain, but, I think the approach for every coach is very similar from week to week. From week 1 to week 12, what you have to think about and calculate is where your guys are at emotionally, where you're at physically. Obviously, those pieces change. But as far as the preparation goes, the watching the film, the breakdown, the way you present it to your team, that doesn't change from week to week. But, the reality of the situation is this is both of our team's last game. There is no postseason for us. They're having a tough year. They've had a lot of injuries. We've kind of dealt with some similar things. But, there's a lot for both of us to play for. I talked to our guys about it today. We want to send our seniors out with a win, with that good taste in their mouth, so that when they attack life, they've got that, that victory in their belly. Our younger guys, they're building for the future. They have a chance to double the wins from last year. That we've had a lot of positive things, played close in a lot of games, and there's a lot of things that we can take with us into the offseason, onto the recruiting trails, things that we can sell in the community as far as the progress that we've made, and we have done that. So it's important for us to go out and finish on a good note.
I guess, Jake, because you are a senior, you and the other seniors, it's pretty easy to get up for this game, isn't it?
Pretty easy?
Yeah, because it's your last game.
I wouldn't say it's going to be easy. No game's easy.
But get up for it.
Yeah. We're excited for every game, but
he's intense already. Can't you tell?
Yeah, like I said, we're excited for every game, but there's definitely something special about this one. It's our last one for some of us that have been here for 5 years. It's been a good journey, so we got to go out with a bang, and we got to set an example for these younger guys.
How would a win impact what people think in the community when they reflect back on this?
Well, that's the biggest thing, as a coach. You sit down in the offseason and you say, all right, what are the things that we did, well? What are the things we need to improve on? What were we poor at, And those things are, in this game, those things are reflected in our community. They'll get a look and you say, all right, what was the expectation going into the year? Well, we've already passed some of that up. This would really show that, wow, okay, they are making, genuine. We have made genuine progress. We don't have to prove that. We've already done that. But this would really be a huge staple in, finishing with that high note, letting everybody know that, we're on the up and up. And it helps us on the recruiting trail. There's a lot of big things. At the end of the day, that's what you love about this game, and that's what's the toughest part about this game. There's a winner and there's a loser, because everybody works hard. So to walk off that field, with a win, the young guys take that into the weight room, they take it into the classroom, they take it, back home over the break, and they come back with a little chip on their shoulder. I think that, and again, we don't want to really get into it right now. That's for next week. But I honestly think there's going to be a lot of looking back saying, darn. And especially if we get this win, it's going to be one of those deals where you look at how, what could you have done, and that's okay. Our big thing's going to be finish. It's been all year. We've had an issue finishing. There's a lot of reasons for that, a lot of injuries and things like that you can't whine about and complain about, but they're things we need to reflect on. So having this win will give us a little bit of edge going into the offseason.
Is Wyoming one of the most beatable teams you faced this season?
People may say that about us. When you look at the games we've played, I think that, Boise was a very winnable football game. Fourth quarter, 7 points. I don't think it's much different. You look at a Wyoming team that played San Diego State, and it was a 28-7 game a couple weeks ago, right? And so they're a good football team. They played well early. They had a lot of injuries. So this is a very winnable football game. But I don't know if we've played one in the last bunch of weeks, maybe other than last Saturday, that wasn't a very winnable football game for us. So we have to get out of our own way. We've got to go out there. We've got to be healthy. We've got to execute on third down better. We have to be able to run the football more effectively early in the football game. We have to do a better job of defending the perimeter and tackling. There's some things that we need to do in order to win this football game.
Tony, it's probably been close to a decade since you had a season like this for you personally.
Yeah.
How frustrating is that just inside? What you have done, what you've achieved in the past to kind of fight this thing?
Well, this is the first time since I forgot, I guess, 2004, that I was playing in a game that didn't possibly lead to another game or end in something special. That's the fight we signed up for. It's, you know what, there's nothing frustrating about it. You know, I think we'll look back and say, God, we could have done A, B, C, and D a little different, you know, had this, you know, bounce this way. I mean, there'll be all those things. But you know what? Nobody in that locker room needs my frustration or needs my, you know, being upset, or, you know, they need my positive energy, they need my leadership, they need my determination, they need me to get off my butt and go recruit, they need me to get out there and help raise money. And so, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we're gonna always go out there, we're gonna fight our tails off, we're gonna have a positive outlook on every single thing that we do, and we're gonna continue to get better.
What kind of tone, I know you want to set a tone of being a physical football team on both sides. Do you think that tone's been set, and what does it mean for going forward?
Yeah, I think it's been said. I mean, I think we've played a good physical brand of football the majority of the year. I think we're, you know, at times, you know, especially recently, we get a little worn out. You know, I mean, we're kind of, you know, we're on fumes a little bit. You know, when you see all those bodies on the sidelines not suited up, guys that were playing a few weeks earlier, you know, it takes a toll, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, there's nobody that's 100% healthy. And, you know, if you are, like I've said earlier in other press conferences, you're probably not a great football player if you're healthy right now, you know. So it's the nature of the game. So that's the biggest thing. We talked to the team a couple of weeks ago, and, you know, there's a lot of different things that you need to be successful. You know, you need accountability, you need intelligence and toughness. But the thing that you want most of all is toughness. It goes above intelligence. It goes above accountability. Without toughness, you have nothing. So that's the biggest thing that we're trying to develop here.
What other things do you think you accomplished this season that you will carry forward?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, honestly, I'd rather answer those questions after the season's over. You know, I mean, I understand why you're asking them, but right now it's really, this week's really about Wyoming, and then there's going to be a lot of reflection and a lot of questions I'm sure that'll be asked of me in the offseason, but I like to hold you know, the rest of those comments for after we finish the season.
Speaking of Wyoming, Brian Hill, what makes him so effective, and how do you defend him?
Well, I mean, they're committed to getting downhill. He's, you know, he's a very durable guy. You know, they've had a lot of, like I said, a lot of injuries, but he's not one of them. I mean, he's a very tough guy. Gets downhill. One of the top leaders in the nation, you know, in rushing, and he's going to be a tough guy to defend. But we've seen other tough backs.
Jake, Coach talked about sending the seniors off with a win in their belly. How important is a win to kind of setting the tone for your next phase?
Oh, I wish I knew what my next phase was. It's important for the seniors to, like he said, get that win and kind of move on with a better feeling. But I feel like it's more important for the younger guys because we really want to go out and just set an example for them. And what I keep telling the younger guys is I'm excited to come back years to come and see the Rebels going to bowl games and winning all these games and stuff like that. And I think it starts with us. It starts with this first senior class and the example that we set for them.
Jake, what has been different? You've been around this program for so long. 2 wins, 2 wins, 3 wins, whatever. You got 3 wins this year. What's kind of been? I mean, can you tell us what a difference might be this year?
The intensity. The intensity is probably the biggest difference. The excitement around the program, the camaraderie. I feel like the team's come together as a brotherhood this year more than they ever have before, and I think that's really what's changed a lot, and that's what's going to benefit the Rebels the most in the future.
You wish you were a freshman, huh?
I do. I really do. I wish I had more years with these guys. It's gone by fast.
What would you tell the other guy? Of course, maybe that's next week also, whatever. But what do you kind of, the newcomers, the guys coming in, what's kind of the thing that you're telling them?
You know, we had this talk with Coach Belton, our strength coach, about what we would tell the younger guys. And same thing I said then is don't wait for anything. Don't say I'll do it tomorrow or anything like that. Just get it done now because you'll be in my position pretty soon. And looking back, you don't want to have any regrets. And I think I'm blessed to say that I don't have any regrets here. I think I gave my all every chance I had, and hopefully younger guys saw that, and I set a good example for them.
I'll ask you seems like a weekly question on Blake Decker.
He practiced Sunday, practiced today. Not 100%, but he will play. You will see both quarterbacks in the game, you know. But I know we can get some snaps out of him, and I know he's excited to end it on his feet, you know, in the game. So I think that's important for him in his career here. So he'll play.
If you decide if he'll start or not?
You know what? He'll start. I mean, we plan on starting him. Again, don't be surprised to see different guys come in at different times. We definitely have packages for Kurt. Actually, Kurt's, he'll be ready to run that full offense, and he's done it for the last couple of weeks. So, but it'll be Blake's ball.
What about other injuries?
Defensively, Valoga's still out, so we don't expect him to play. We've done a couple tests with him. We don't think he'll go. And Tao, yeah, he's doubtful. He's doubtful for the game.
I know you were not happy about how the word got to you about his injury Saturday. Have you feel like you've gotten that rectified going forward as far as communication?
Oh, yeah. Yes, that should not happen, and I don't perceive that it'll happen again. We have to do a better job of communicating around here. And that's part of it too. Is it's not just everyone sees the football end of it on Saturdays. There are so many things that need to improve here. I mean, so many things. Our processes, the way we do things, the way we communicate. From academic supports to financial supports to the building of the program. There are so many things underneath that we're getting better at. And you know what? There's not one thing that I would say that we haven't improved on, but there are a whole lot of things we need to continue to fight to make better around here. So all those things impact Saturdays, and I think there's a greater understanding of that now that, when things aren't right, we're going to attack it, we're going to address it, and thank goodness we have an athletic director who's just as fired up about the success of all of our athletic programs. We have a new president, Len Jessup, who truly believes this can be a great athletic environment here in all sports here at UNLV. So having those people in place that are going to help us fight some of those battles and make things better are going to make a huge difference in the future.
Tony, have you ever had to travel to Laramie before, and are you familiar with maybe some of the obstacles?
I have not traveled to Laramie. But you know what? I have traveled to Reno for state semifinal games that are like 20 some odd degrees, when it's cold. And, it'll be probably similar to one of those environments. At the end of the day, Mark hates when I use that at the end of the day. It's like my favorite term. But at the end of the day, when you're in a cold environment, you just got to be a tough guy. You throw on your long johns and you go out there and you hit the guy in front of you. If you can't do that, you probably shouldn't be playing. So it's, you see it all the time. You just got to be a tough guy. They're playing in the same weather too, and those kids, a lot of those kids didn't grow up in Laramie.
Craig Ball said yesterday that his team got really beaten up when they played San Diego State, and he could use the week off was really beneficial for them. You're coming right off the San Diego State game. Did they have any edge in that regard, or was it?
Well, based on the number of guys we didn't have playing the game, I thought, we were kind of beat up before the game, so maybe we got healthy during the game. No, I know what he's saying. They're a big physical football team, and they like to run the ball downhill, and it can wear on you. But no, we didn't come out with, again, the guys, we're getting guys back, but we didn't lose anybody in the game.
What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
We're going to get it. We're celebrating the greatest American tradition, playing football, right? So we're going to come and have a great spirited football practice, and then all the coaches are going to take the kids home. So they're all going. So I've got the wide receivers and the strength staff come over to my house, and I think you guys are going over with Coach Cotton and those guys. So we're going to have all the players over to our homes and break bread with our families and kids, and just kind of do a little bonding, and then fly out together and go to battle.
Would you ever be in favor of that last, when you're going to play Reno at the end of the season now? Would you ever be interested in playing on like the only show on a Thursday or something like that?
We'll play them anytime, anywhere. That's we can't wait. That's a great game, and if it was end up being a Turkey Day game, that'd be great.
Like that, huh?
Hey, yeah. That'd be fun. It's a quick turnaround, but yeah, absolutely. Hey, whatever gets everybody in the state fired up. That's already a big game. So if you can add more to it and make it more dramatic, fantastic.
What do you think of that Hey Rev controversy?
I'll be honest with you. And, it's a sensitive topic, so I got to be ready to answer those things. So, when you look back at the history, I think it's kind of an interesting deal because I'm kind of proud of UNLV because in the 70s, it was looked at and said, hey, wait a second, this mascot is not really appropriate. They had Bogart, right? And, people know the history. You're coming from, we were all just, up there in Reno, right? And then when we broke off and we became the school in the South, they used Bogart, who was the wolf, right? Who kind of came from, UNR. And he did have a Confederate, deal, which was inappropriate, completely inappropriate. So they addressed it, they got rid of it, and they changed the mascot. well before this was a huge issue, you know? So when you think about it, it kind of makes you proud that, hey, the university had the foresight to look at a mascot and say, this is an inappropriate mascot. We shouldn't be celebrating anything to do with the Confederacy. But Rebels, I mean, when I was growing up, the Rebels I knew were in Star Wars. They were the guys fighting, you know, Darth Vader. I mean, the guys were fighting against change, you know? So it's, I think the Rebels is great. It's just somebody who's kind of bucking the trend, who's fighting the system, who's trying to be different, you know? So again, I look at Hey Reb, and you know, again, I never even thought of it when I was living here. I mean, I looked at him as a mountain man, and just kind of, that's who he was to me. So again, when I look at it, you know, being from a minority, you know, background, I look at that and I say, well, wow, you know, that's kind of neat that UNLV had the foresight a long time before this became an issue to say, this is inappropriate, we are going to create change, and they did that, and so it makes you proud to work for this university.
Taylor? Taylor?